So I just wanted to follow up on what I was talking about in a previous little short video as it relates to adjusting your sail and staying the course as you are, in pursuit of your goals. When we have a destination in mind in terms of where we think we want to arrive, and the reason why I say where we think we want to arrive is because sometimes we have this image of what we feel is going to be our ultimate destination. But it's something about the journey that expands and evolves and helps us to see things differently, and that we end up sometimes taking a different route to achieve our goals. And ultimately, we end up with more than we could ever imagine. And it actually helps to better prepare us for the destination that we feel or believe that we wanted to arrive at. And not only does it help to better prepare us and expand it, but oftentimes what I have discovered is that along the way, what we thought was the grander thing end up kind of becoming just a little element, of it. But we've had kind of a object of desire, if you will, that we were moving towards. But the journey should grow and expand us to the point where we think that we wanted to arrive becomes just another stepping stone to something much more expanded, or expansive, I should say. So, within saying that, when we run into what seems to be an obstacle, so to speak, and we think that it's a challenge or so that's telling us that we don't really need to pursue this, right? And all the time it's not that. Sometimes we have to make those adjustments as we're navigating these waters of life purpose or so, and mainly speaking to entrepreneurs and small business owners, that you're going to have to adjust the sail, but still stay the course. And sometimes you will have to go to another port or so, another dock, all right? Another harbor in the bay, so to speak, and to be there for a second, because there's things that you need to gain. So when we run into what seems to be an obstacle and we're not moving in that straight line that we believe we should be moving in towards our success, that's the point where it's time to make a subtle shift. Just earlier today I was doing a talk around shifting, how you soar, how you start to soar. Because sometimes when you've prepared a certain way and you think, okay, I've prepared for this and now I'm going to go and start delivering this in the world and, making the impact and the income that way. And not saying that that's not going to happen, but sometimes we have to shift the way we are going to soar. And maybe we think you're going to soar in success a certain way, and what's going to launch you and take you off. And maybe you have prepared for that. But maybe there's one little subtle significant shift that says adjust here. And if you're an eagle and you're flying, instead of just flying straight, then something veers you off, but it's not a veer off in terms of a distraction for like a delay or going down the wrong path. It's that subtle hunch that, take this route instead of that route. And along the way, there's going to be something more for you that as you do arrive at your quote unquote destination, so to speak, again, it's going to make the journey much more richer. But don't get discouraged by thinking that things aren't working out because you're trying to pursue things a certain way. At the end of the day, you can have any and everything that you want to desire, but sometimes that desire is trying to expand. And if you don't allow the expansion to take place, you're going to always be stuck and then thinking that you're just not cut out to do what you want to do, that you're not going to reach the goal. And that's not true. It's just sometimes, again, you have to adjust your sail. And as you adjust your sail, stay the course. Don't come off course, so to speak, meaning don't change your goal in terms of what you really think you desire, but allow that desire to expand. When you allow that desire to expand, it's not really changing the goal. It's allowing the evolution to come forth. So an example is that you think of an acorn that contains the encoding of an oak tree, right? And so you may think, oh, I love this acorn of an idea, but you think the acorn is the oak tree. But the journey will show you that no, that's a conceptual idea. And now it's time to go on the journey to expand that so it can become the oak tree, right? So you learn, you grow, you shift your perspective, and the things you thought were so significant and large, you see that, oh, wow, that was really just an acorn. That was really just a seed. I was just on this journey so that I could crack this open and now come into the greater expansion. And of course, the greater expansion is going to bring you more than you could desire, because certainly when you see the acorn for what it is, you wouldn't just want the acorn because you know, well, you can't feed off of that. Not really, not long term anyway. And you get to see that, even with your goals, is that it will be very temporary in satisfaction. Even though you've worked so hard to get there, it pales in comparison to what wants to come forth. So you have to allow the expansion of your desire. That's what adjusting your cell does. It takes you on a different route so that you can actually benefit more. And others who are going to benefit from you, obviously, they're going to be more expanded in what they get from you. And so a few years back, which feels like so long ago, I had published a particular, it was a journal planner that was called Remix Possible, and basically reroute your success. And you are rewriting your success as you're rerouting your success. And if you remember that back in 2010, AT&T used to have the motto, rethink possible. And so you really have to start rethinking possible about your goals. And as that's happening, you're adjusting your cells and you're rewriting kind of how things can play out, and you're rerouting. And so sometimes that has to happen. You're navigating the seas of success. And if there's an iceberg or there's a storm, well, you don't like say, oh, I'm going to go through that, because that's the route to it. Or even sometimes to wait it out. Sometimes you make a shift, right? You make an adjustment. Or you do give pause and re-strategize, or however. But the thing about it is you don't give up. You just have to make some adjustments sometimes. And I think that the adjustment is not surrendering to, oh, I got to decrease my goal or I have to do this. No, it really is allowing that expansion to take place, adjusting so that you can advance, right? So that's the different level of adaptation of a mindset that you need to adopt. Just adjust, make some few adjustments, make some few shifts, subtle shifts that can be very significant, but just stay the course. Course correct as you go along, but just don't give up. So that's something that I really felt guided to come forth, and share. Don't be afraid to do something different. And sometimes these adjustments will require you to do something different, to be different, to be courageous in a way maybe that you've never considered before, and to try some new approaches, right? Even in who you are. Allow who you are to expand. Everyone talks about becoming the best version of yourself, but then yet they're still really operating off of this template that's given. But, what is the best level and version of yourself really according to your unique design and your unique information? You need to take time out to really learn that. And sometimes that's the adjustment. Adjusting who you are being even as you're leveling up. Adjust the way that you're leveling up so that when you show up, you can be something that this world has never seen before. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard in your own uniqueness. So that's just my encouragement and empowerment, for you during this time, is that adjust the sail, but stay the course. Don't show up as the acorn. It's time to be the oak tree, but you got to recognize the difference between what the acorn is and what the oak tree is. And so make those adjustments in your perception so you can level up your awareness. And then ultimately, when you come into this more expanded evolution of your desire, watch. You're going to get more than what you bargained for, more than what you set out to achieve. And you'll be so glad that some of what seems to be stalls or delays, they're divine delays just for you to really come into that more expanded version of yourself. So adjust yourself because that's to your highest advantage during this time. But definitely stay the course and watch the course become something far beyond what you could have ever imagined possible.